Ambassador Ethan Cole stood rigid in the massive Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Union. His hands gripped the podium's edge, knuckles white, as he listened to yet another endless, arrogant accusation. The alien voice echoed through the colossal hall, thick with a contempt Ethan had heard too many times before. 300 years. That was how long humanity had been a part of the Galactic Union. 3 centuries of following rules that felt tailor-made to keep humans firmly in their place. 3 centuries of biting their tongues, swallowing insults, and accepting treatment that was blatantly unfair. 3 centuries of being called too young, too primitive, too aggressive to deserve the same rights as the galaxy's older species. High Counselor Krill pointed a sharp, insect-like appendage directly at Ethan. The Zenthran leader's facial plates clicked together in undisguised fury. His species had been running the galactic core for 10,000 years. They looked at humans the way a king might view a pest at his gates. Your species continues to expand without proper authorization, Krill droned, his voice synthetic and cold. The mining operation in the Denub sector must cease immediately. That territory belongs to the Kavarian Collective by ancient writ. Ethan felt his jaw tighten. The Denub sector had been empty when human survey teams found it 2 decades ago. No settlements, no claimed territory, no signs of any species living there for thousands of years. Humanity had followed every single rule in the Union Charter. They had filed the proper claims, paid the enormous fees, and waded through years of bureaucratic delays. This very council had approved everything. And now the Kavarians wanted it, so the rules simply changed. Just like that. High Counselor, with all respect, humanity followed every protocol, Ethan stated, keeping his voice level. The Denub claim was filed properly and approved by this council. We have invested billions of credits into developing that region. Thousands of our people have worked for years to build that mining station. Krill's mandibles clicked in what Ethan recognized as dismissive laughter. The decision is final, Ambassador Cole. Your species will comply with this order within 1 standard week, or face economic sanctions. Again. The word hit Ethan like a physical blow. This would be the 7th time in 30 years the Union had sanctioned humanity for some invented violation of rules that other species broke daily without consequence. Trade restrictions that crippled human merchants, asset seizures that bankrupted human companies. All of it was perfectly legal under Union law, which the founding species could change on a whim. Ethan's earpiece buzzed softly. His aide, Liam Green, spoke urgently from the small, secure office where the human delegation monitored communications. Ambassador, we have an emergency transmission from Commander Linda Price. The UES Defiant is responding to a distress call from the Denub mining station. What kind of distress? Ethan kept his voice low, turning slightly away from the podium. Liam's voice was shaking. Kavarian warships opened fire without warning. The station is taking heavy damage. Multiple hull breaches. They're reporting casualties. Ethan's blood ran cold. How many? There was a painful pause. When Liam spoke again, his voice was barely a whisper. 73 confirmed dead so far. The station is venting atmosphere. They're trying to evacuate, but the Kavarians are targeting the escape pods. 73 people. Miners, engineers, scientists, families. People who had left Earth, Mars, and the Belt colonies to build something new on the edge of human space. Dead because they were in the way. Dead because some ancient alien empire decided they wanted what humanity had built. Ethan looked up at the council chamber. The delegates were chatting among themselves, clearly bored with the routine humiliation of the human representative. High Counselor Krill was being congratulated by several other delegates. The Kavarian ambassador had a smug expression on his face. They knew. They had to know. This attack had been planned. The council meeting was just theater, a way to make it look like humanity had been given a chance to comply before the Kavarians took what they wanted by force. Ethan reached down and closed his briefcase with a soft click. The sound, small as it was, echoed in the vast chamber, drawing the attention of nearby delegates. He picked up the case and turned toward the exit. "Ambassador Cole, where are you going?" Liam appeared at his elbow, confusion and fear etched onto his young face. "The session isn't over. If you leave now, they'll charge you with contempt. The fines alone could bankrupt our entire diplomatic budget." Ethan kept walking. Behind him, he heard Krill's voice rising in anger. "Ambassador Cole, you have not been dismissed from this session. Return to your position immediately or face serious consequences." Ethan stopped at the massive doors that led out of the chamber. He turned slowly, looking back at the assembled delegates. Hundreds of aliens from dozens of species, all of them citizens of the Great Galactic Union, all of them complicit in 3 centuries of treating humanity like dirt. "High Counselor Krill," Ethan said, his voice carrying clearly through the now silent chamber. "For 300 years, my people have tried to be good members of this union. We have followed your rules, even when those rules changed to disadvantage us. We have accepted your insults, your sanctions, your theft of our property. We have been patient beyond all reasonable measure." He paused, letting his words sink in. Every delegate was watching now. "But while you were holding this session, Kavarian warships attacked our mining station in the Denub sector. 73 civilians are dead. Families, Counselor. People who never hurt anyone, who just wanted to build a better life." Krill's mandibles clicked impatiently. "That is an internal security matter. The Kavarians were enforcing their legitimate territorial claim. Any casualties are regrettable, but legal under Union Charter Section 47, subsection 12. "Legal?" Ethan repeated softly. "You murdered 73 of my people, and it's legal. Ambassador, I warn you. Your tone is unacceptable. You will moderate your language and return to your position, or humanity will face the most severe sanctions this council can impose." Ethan felt something finally break inside him. 300 years of pressure, 300 years of swallowed anger, 300 years of diplomatic patience that had bought humanity nothing but contempt. It all came to a point in this moment, standing in this chamber, looking at these aliens who thought humans would take this abuse forever. "High Counselor," Ethan said, his voice clear and final. "You can take your sanctions, your Union Charter, and your contempt charges, and you can throw them into the nearest star. Humanity is done playing by your rigged rules." The chamber exploded in shocked outrage. Delegates jumped to their feet, shouting protests in a dozen different languages. Krill's faceplates turned a dark purple, a clear sign of his absolute rage. Ethan didn't wait to hear another word. He turned and walked through the doors, which sealed behind him with a heavy thud. Liam scrambled after him, practically running to keep up as Ethan strode down the corridor toward the human embassy shuttle. "Ethan, what have you done?" Liam gasped. "They'll expel us from the Union. They'll blockade Earth. They'll destroy our economy. They've been destroying our economy for 3 centuries, Liam," Ethan replied, his pace never slowing. "The only difference now is that we're not going to let them anymore." He activated his secure communicator, connecting directly to Earth Central Command. "This is Ambassador Cole. Authorization code Alpha 779. I need to speak with President Santos immediately. Priority Alpha." The connection took only seconds. President Maria Santos appeared on his screen, her face grave. "Ethan, we just received word about the Denub attack. Are you safe?" "I'm safe, Madam President," Ethan confirmed. "But I've just walked out of the Union Council chamber after telling them that humanity is done accepting their abuse." There was a long pause. Then Maria nodded slowly. "I've been waiting for this moment for 30 years. I was starting to think it would never come. Madam President, recall all human ambassadors from Union worlds. Effective immediately. And Ethan," she added, smiling grimly. "Tell Admiral Brooks that Operation Sledgehammer is authorized. Humanity's patience has finally run out." Ethan felt his heart racing. Operation Sledgehammer. Every human in the diplomatic service knew the name. It was the contingency plan for if the Union ever pushed too far, a plan refined and updated for over a century, waiting for the day when patience was no longer enough. Understood, Madam President. What about evacuation of human civilians in Union space? Already underway, Maria answered. We started moving people 6 hours ago when we got word the Kavarians were moving warships toward Deneb. By this time tomorrow, every human civilian will be out of potential combat zones. 6 hours ago. Before the council session even started. The attack on Deneb hadn't been a surprise to Earth's government. They had known it was coming and had been preparing for this moment. Ethan looked out the shuttle window as it lifted off from the Union Capital Station. Below, he could see the massive structure that housed the government of the galaxy, a government that had ruled for thousands of years with unchallenged authority. In 72 hours, that government would be shattered. The galaxy would learn that humanity's patience, while vast, was not infinite. And when it finally snapped, the sound would echo across 1,000 star systems. The war was coming, and humanity was ready. Admiral Helen Brooks stood on the bridge of the UES Vengeance and watched the stars on the main view screen. Around her ship, 37 other warships hung in perfect, unthreatening formation. To anyone observing from a distance, they looked like a standard defensive fleet. Nothing special. Nothing to worry about. That was the point. For 300 years, humanity had been very careful about what technology they showed the galaxy. The Union had seen human merchant vessels with basic engines and light defensive weapons. They had seen simple patrol craft, and the orbital platforms protecting Earth and Mars. What they had not seen were the shipyards hidden deep in the asteroid belt, the weapons research facilities buried under Europa, and the training grounds scattered across systems no one else wanted. For 3 centuries, while humanity played the role of the weak newcomer, they had been preparing for this day. Lieutenant Danny Morris looked up from his tactical station. He was young, barely 30, but he had trained his entire life for this mission. Admiral, sensors are picking up the Kavarian fleet. 17 battle cruisers, 43 destroyers, and support vessels. They're holding position around the Deneb Station debris field. Helen nodded slowly. The Kavarian Third Fleet was their entire military strength in this sector. They had sent everything they had to secure their prize, expecting no resistance. Intercepted communications showed they were celebrating, boasting about how easily they had swept aside the human presence, laughing about the 73 dead civilians. Captain Nicole Turner, send the message on all Kavarian frequencies. Nicole's fingers moved across her console. Within seconds, every Kavarian warship received the same message in their own language. This is Admiral Helen Brooks of the United Earth Space Forces. You have 1 hour to power down your weapons, surrender your vessels, and prepare to face justice for the murder of 73 civilians. This is your only warning. The response was immediate. Mocking laughter flooded the communication channels. Threats. Demands that the tiny human fleet retreat immediately before being destroyed. One Kavarian captain sent a particularly crude message, suggesting humans should return to their primitive home world and stop pretending to be a real military force. Helen's face remained expressionless as she listened to the insults. She had expected nothing less. The Kavarians were a proud species. They had won wars against civilizations far older than humanity. They had technology considered advanced even by Union standards. And they outnumbered her fleet by more than 3 to 1. All ships, battle stations, Helen ordered calmly. Launch all fighters. Prepare main batteries. Target packages Alpha through Foxtrot. Primary target is the Kavarian flagship. Her first officer, Commander Jack Phillips, moved to stand beside her. He had served with Helen for 15 years. He knew her well enough to see the carefully controlled anger beneath her calm exterior. Admiral, once we open fire, there's no going back. The entire Union will unite against us. They already see us as lesser beings, Jack, Helen said. For 300 years, we've been the galaxy's punching bag. We followed their rules. We accepted their abuse. We stayed quiet when they stole from us, insulted us, pushed us around. She turned to look at him, her eyes hard. And what did patience get us? 73 dead civilians. People killed because we were inconvenient. She turned back to the view screen. But humans don't stay patient forever, Jack. We bend, but eventually we break. And when we break hard. The Union is about to learn that lesson. The 1-hour countdown ticked away on the main display. The Kavarian fleet began moving into attack formation, clearly intending to make an example of the outnumbered human force. Their battle cruisers moved to the front, energy shields powering up. Their destroyers spread out in a wide arc, preparing to envelope and destroy the human ships. It was a textbook formation for overwhelming a smaller force. It would have worked against any other species in the galaxy. But the Kavarians were about to discover that humanity played by different rules. 60 seconds to deadline, Danny reported. Helen raised her hand. Every officer on the bridge was silent, waiting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All ships, Helen said quietly. Open fire. The Vengeance's main railguns fired first. Unlike the energy weapons the galaxy used, railguns fired solid, multi-ton tungsten rods, accelerated to a significant fraction of the speed of light. The kinetic energy they carried was enormous. The Kavarian shields were designed to deflect energy beams and absorb missile impacts. They were excellent shields, among the best in the galaxy, but they were not designed for kinetic impactors traveling at relativistic speeds. Physics didn't care about shield technology. Kinetic energy was kinetic energy. The first tungsten rod hit the Kavarian flagship's shield. For a fraction of a second, the shield held. Then it overloaded. The second rod hit the ship itself. There was no dramatic explosion. The battle cruiser simply came apart. The kinetic impact tore the ship apart at the molecular level. One moment there was a massive warship. The next moment there was an expanding cloud of debris. Across the human formation, every warship opened fire. The galaxy had never seen weapons like these. Railguns that could punch through any shield. Directed nuclear pulse drives that turned fusion bombs into focused weapons. Plasma lances that could slice through armor like a hot knife through butter. Missile swarms guided by artificial intelligence that could think faster than any organic mind. The Kavarians tried to fight back. Their energy weapons lashed out at the human ships, but human shields were designed specifically to handle directed energy. Their missiles launched in waves, but human point defense systems tracked and destroyed them with cold efficiency. Their fighters swarmed out to attack, but human combat drones met them in clouds of automated death. The battle lasted 11 minutes. When it was over, the Kavarian Third Fleet had ceased to exist as a fighting force. 16 battle cruisers were destroyed or crippled. 40 destroyers were drifting hulks. The human fleet had taken damage, a few minor hull breaches, some shield generators running hot, but there were no casualties. Not one human death. Helen stood motionless, watching the tactical display. Around her, the bridge crew was silent. They had just participated in the most one-sided battle in galactic history. A fleet one-third the size of their enemy had completely destroyed that enemy in 11 minutes. Begin rescue operations, Helen ordered. I want every survivor picked up. Medical teams ready to treat the wounded. Anyone who surrenders is to be treated well. They're prisoners of war now, not enemies. Danny looked up from his console, his face pale. Admiral, we're receiving hundreds of priority transmissions from Union worlds. They're all demanding that we stand down immediately. High Counselor Krill himself is on the line, demanding to speak with you. Put him through. Audio only. Krill's voice filled the bridge, shrill with anger. "Admiral Brooks, you have committed an act of war against a Union member species. You will cease all hostile actions immediately and surrender your fleet for internment. Failure to comply will result in the complete economic and military destruction of humanity." Helen smiled grimly. "High Counselor Krill, I have a better idea. You will review the tactical data from this engagement. Every Union military in the galaxy will study exactly what just happened here. And then you will understand that humanity is no longer accepting your abuse. You dare threaten this council? You are one species against hundreds. The combined might of the Union will crush you like the primitive insects you are." "Then let me make this very simple, Counselor," Helen said. "Humanity demands full restitution for every crime committed against our people over the past 300 years. We demand equal representation in the Union. We demand fair treatment under Union law. We demand justice for the 73 civilians murdered at Denub Station." She paused. "You have 48 hours to agree to negotiations. After that, humanity will begin military operations against every Union species that participated in our oppression." She cut the connection before he could respond. High Counselor Krill had ruled the Galactic Union for 43 years. He had managed wars, negotiated treaties, and maintained the delicate balance of power between hundreds of species. He considered himself a master of galactic politics. But as he watched the tactical data from the Battle of Denub for the 5th time, he finally admitted something to himself: he had made a terrible mistake. The Kavarian Third Fleet had been destroyed in 11 minutes. Not defeated, not driven back, completely destroyed by a force 1/3 its size. The tactical analysts were unanimous: if humanity could do this to the Kavarians, they could do it to anyone. But Krill was the leader of an empire that had ruled for 10,000 years. He could not be seen as weak. He could not let a young species dictate terms to the Union. So, he did what any proud leader would do when faced with a threat to his authority. He assembled a coalition fleet, over 300 warships from 7 different species. It was the largest military force the Union had mobilized in recorded history. Surely, he thought, even humanity's advanced weapons could not stand against such overwhelming numbers. What High Counselor Krill did not know was that humanity had been listening to Union communications for decades. Every command frequency, every tactical channel, every strategic planning session. Human intelligence had recorded it all, analyzed it, and filed it away for exactly this scenario. Colonel Stephen Blake sat in the command center of Forward Operating Base Liberty, a human military installation the Union did not know existed. He watched the coalition fleet gathering at the edge of human space. 300 ships. It should have been terrifying. Instead, he felt almost sorry for them. "Status report," Stephen said calmly. Chief Warrant Officer Lisa Kane looked up from her console. "We have access to 47% of their fleet systems. Command and control networks are compromised. Navigation computers have our back door installed. Weapons targeting systems are vulnerable. Communication networks are wide open." Stephen nodded. For years, human technology companies had been selling software and hardware upgrades to Union species. Better efficiency, they had claimed. Improved compatibility. What they had actually been doing was installing access points for human intelligence services. Every navigation system, every targeting computer, every communication upgrade, all of them had hidden pathways leading straight back to human military intelligence. The Union species had bought these upgrades eagerly, never suspecting they were buying their own defeat. "The coalition fleet is moving into attack formation," Lisa reported. "They're planning to hit our defensive positions in the Titan sector. Standard overwhelming force doctrine. They expect to smash through our lines with sheer numbers." "Execute chaos protocol," Stephen ordered. Lisa's fingers danced across her keyboard. Across 300 warships, computer systems began receiving false data. Navigation systems suddenly reported positions that were thousands of kilometers off. Weapons targeting computers locked up. Communication networks began broadcasting conflicting, legitimate-looking orders. Most devastating of all, ship identification systems started showing friendly vessels as hostile contacts. Two Zenthran destroyers, convinced they were under attack by enemy ships, opened fire on their own support vessels. Within 10 minutes, the coalition fleet had descended into complete chaos. Ships collided. Friendly fire incidents erupted. It was like trying to fight in a dark room while someone kept turning you in circles. Into this confusion came Admiral Helen Brooks and the UES Vengeance fleet. They emerged from jump space with perfect coordination, their systems immune to the electronic warfare that was crippling the coalition. Human ships moved like a single organism. The battle was less of a fight and more of a systematic dismantling. Human forces disabled ships rather than destroying them, knocking out propulsion, weapons arrays, and communications. Helen wanted prisoners. She wanted survivors who could return to their home worlds and tell everyone exactly what happened. By the end of Day 2, over 100 Union ships had been disabled. The remaining ships scattered, running for their home systems in blind panic. On Day 3, the political situation began to shift dramatically. The Terranian Dominion, practical traders and business people, sent a secret message to Earth. They wanted out. They would declare neutrality and open direct trade negotiations. President Maria Santos, back in Geneva, read the message. 3 days ago, they were voting to sanction us. Now they want to be neutral. Fear is an excellent motivator, Madam President, Foreign Minister Gregory Hayes replied. Our intelligence suggests 3 other species are considering similar approaches. Accept the Terran offer, Maria decided. And reach out to those other species. We're not fighting this war to conquer the galaxy. We're fighting it so we never have to fight again. High Counselor Krill watched the coalition fleet retreat in disorder. He had ruled the Union for over 4 decades and had thought he understood power. But humanity was teaching him a lesson he had somehow missed. Power without respect was just violence waiting to happen. He looked at the reports piling up on his desk: military defeats, political defections, economic disruption. In 3 days, the Union he had spent his entire life serving was falling apart. He made a final, desperate decision. He would not negotiate. He would not show weakness. He would mobilize the Grand Armada and crush humanity so thoroughly that no species would ever dare challenge the Union again. Over 800 warships began converging on the Sol system. The Grand Armada was the pride of Zenthran military power. Its commanders were confident. 800 ships against perhaps 50 human ships scattered throughout the system. Overwhelming force always won. Except the math was wrong. General Victor Ross commanded Earth's home defense forces from deep inside the Cheyenne Mountain complex. He watched the Armada approach. Then we spring the trap, Victor said. The Grand Armada swept past Saturn, never noticing the thousands of small objects detaching from the planet's rings. These small objects, propelled by silent chemical thrusters, were too small to register as threats on Zenthran sensors. Smart Minds active, Major Claire Wright reported. Contact in 30 seconds. The Zentherians detected the incoming swarm too late. Thousands of self-guided mines, each one a small nuclear device, slammed into the tightly packed formation. The nuclear pulses were not designed to destroy ships through blast, they were designed to generate electromagnetic pulses, EMPs, that fried electronics and blinded sensors. Across the Grand Armada, ships went dark. Sensors failed. Communication systems crashed. Weapons targeting computers rebooted for 90 seconds. The most powerful military force in the galaxy was blind, deaf, and helpless. And 90 seconds was more than enough time for Phase 2. From hidden positions throughout the outer system, on asteroids, on moons, and on orbital platforms that looked like simple satellites, hundreds of missile batteries opened fire. The missiles were simple by galactic standards, but there were thousands of them, launched in coordinated volleys that converged on the blinded armada from every direction. Zentran point defense systems struggled to come back online, but they were designed to handle hundreds of targets, not thousands. For every missile they destroyed, 3 more got through. Warheads detonated against shields still recovering from the EMPs. Then came the railguns. They had been hidden for decades, waiting. Now they fired in coordinated volleys, their targeting data shared through quantum-encrypted networks the Xantharians couldn't jam. Each shot was precisely calculated to hit already damaged ships or weakened sections of hull. The Battle of Seoul lasted 4 hours. 4 hours of coordinated human fire tearing into the largest fleet ever assembled. When it was over, only 203 Zentran ships remained functional, all of them retreating at maximum speed. The rest were either destroyed or drifting hulks. "Begin rescue operations," General Ross ordered, grim satisfaction etched on his face. Claire looked at the damage assessment. "Sir, we lost 12 orbital platforms, 18 automated batteries. Total human casualties are 47 wounded, 3 killed. 3 dead against an enemy that had brought 800 warships to destroy Earth. They had defended humanity's home world against impossible odds." On day 5, Admiral Helen Brooks took her fleet to the Zentran home system. Not to attack, but to deliver a message. She brought detailed scans of every Zentran military installation, tactical plans for their destruction, and casualty projections that made even hardened warriors pale. Most importantly, she brought High Counselor Krill himself. He had been recovered from his destroyed flagship at Seoul, treated by human doctors, and was now being returned home. Helen stood across from him in the conference room of the Vengeance as they orbited his home world. "Your empire could have lasted another 10,000 years, Helen told him quietly. "You threw it away because you could not treat one species with basic respect." Krill's mandibles clicked slowly. He looked old now, worn down by defeat. "What does humanity want? Conquest, tribute, revenge for 3 centuries of insults. Justice," Helen replied simply. "And reform. The Galactic Union needs to be rebuilt from scratch with actual equality for all member species. Equal votes, equal rights, equal protection under the law. No more senior members and junior members. And if we refuse?" Helen looked out at the billions of civilians on the planet below. "If you help us rebuild the Union into something fair and just, we can end this war today. Your fleet stands down. We begin negotiations. Nobody else has to die." She paused. "But if you refuse, tomorrow we start targeting military installations on your home world. Your military capacity will be destroyed. And we keep going until your empire surrenders unconditionally." Krill stared at the tactical data. It showed every target, every weakness. The humans had known how to destroy his empire for years. They had waited, hoping for peace, until his pride had forced their hand. He looked out at his home world one last time. Then, he clicked his mandibles in a gesture that meant submission. "I will transmit the ceasefire order to all Zentran forces. We will stand down. We will begin negotiations. And we will help you rebuild the Union into something better than what we had." "Thank you, High Counselor," Helen nodded. "You're making the right choice." The Treaty Hall in Geneva had witnessed many historic moments, but nothing compared to what happened on Day 6 of the war. Representatives from every major species in the galaxy gathered there, not because they wanted to, but because they had finally understood that humanity could destroy them if negotiations failed. Ambassador Ethan Cole sat at the negotiating table, the same man who had been dismissed just 6 days ago. Now, every alien in the room watched him with wary respect. President Maria Santos opened the proceedings. 6 days ago, humanity went to war. We did not want this fight. In 6 days, we have demonstrated that we could have destroyed the Union at any point over the past century. We had the weapons. We had the plans. But we chose not to. She continued, firm and calm. We entered this war to demand what should have been freely given from the start: respect, equality, justice. High Counselor Krill rose slowly from his seat. The Xantherian Empire acknowledges its responsibility. We treated humanity not as equals, but as lesser beings. We were catastrophically wrong. Ethan leaned forward. The old Galactic Union is finished. What we are proposing today is fundamentally different. A true union where every species has an equal voice. Over the next 10 hours, they hammered out the framework of the reformed union. Every species would have equal representation. Disputes would be settled through mandatory arbitration. Economic protections would prevent powerful species from crushing weaker ones. The most controversial proposal was a human-commanded peacekeeping force to intervene in cases of genocide or aggressive war. Ethan addressed the wary delegates directly. This force will not be purely human. Every member species can contribute. Command will rotate. And most importantly, it cannot act without authorization from the Union Council, where every species has an equal vote. For 300 years, the old Union enforced rules selectively. We are proposing justice that applies equally to everyone. As the sun set over Geneva, the delegates signed the Treaty of Reformed Union. One by one, they added their marks to the document that would reshape galactic civilization. Admiral Helen Brooks watched from the gallery. Commander Jack Phillips stood beside her. 6 days, Jack said quietly. 6 days to change the galaxy. Helen nodded. 300 years of patience, followed by 6 days of action. That is the human way, Jack. We will endure abuse longer than anyone thinks possible, but when we finally say enough is enough, everything changes. President Maria Santos gave a final address. We fought this war not to become the galaxy's new masters, but to ensure that no one could master us again. To our former enemies, welcome to the new union where you are our equals. And to all humans everywhere, we are done being patient with injustice. But we remain endlessly patient with peace. That is who we are. That is who we will always be. Ethan Cole stood on the balcony, looking up at the darkening sky. The machinery of war would be stored away, kept ready but unused. The galaxy would remember this week for millennia, not as the time humanity conquered the stars, but as the time they proved that patience, when finally exhausted, was more powerful than rage. 50 years later, students across the galaxy would study the Six-Day War. An old Xanthran professor who lived through it would tell his class every year, "We learned that patience is not weakness, that diplomacy is not surrender, and that the species you dismiss as harmless today might reshape your entire civilization tomorrow." Let this message ignite your faith, rekindle your hope, and spur you to stand firm on your journey. Thank you for staying with me to the end. If this story stirred your heart, drop a like, share this video with someone who needs it, and hit that subscribe button to catch more content like this. May God's blessings overflow in your life, and I'll see you soon.